Ready? Chapter 30. Letting Go. Well, I guess the first shift is ours, Tora said to Banke as they sat down opposite Aino and Keon. I'm glad you're taking the shift with Banke. At least I can trust you to stay awake, Aino said in a teasing tone. Hey, it was one time. I've kept awake all the other times, Banke crossed his arms. It wasn't just that you dozed off for a few seconds. You slept for over an hour, she retorted. Tora laughed. You're going to have to prove yourself to her now, Banke. You know, Aino, you remind me of Ayla. If you mess up in front of her, she will make sure you pay in full. She doesn't give anyone leeway, not even me, and we've been together for 15 years. You and Ayla are a couple? Aino asked, a bit surprised. Indeed, we don't tend to advertise it though. I mean, we aren't conjoined at the hips like Ask and Embla, he answered her. We heard that, two voices said unanimously behind him. He turned around and looked at the two brigadier generals. You only further prove my point when you do that shit, he said to them. Whatever, Ask said and waved his hand dismissively. We just came here to say good night. See you all in the morning. The couple turned around and walked off, finding a place to sleep for the night. I'm pretty sure Ayla started to like me when she saw me taking care of Edda, Banke and Jorun. I mean, Edda pretty much took care of herself, so I can hardly count her in. Banke and Jorun, on the other hand, they were both a handful. Ayla saw my struggles, and she completely related. None of us are the parenting type. We are well matched. He chuckled at the memories. Did someone say my name? Jorun came walking up to them. Indeed, someone did, Tora answered her. You and Banke were so full of life as children. Well, you still are, I'd say. I remember the both of you running after Edda constantly, trying to catch up to her in everything she did. The two of you worked so hard. Top of your class, only behind Edda. You really did want her to notice you, didn't you? Jorun put her hand on his shoulder. She'll always be my friend, you know. But at one point I had to give up on her. She doesn't want anyone close. She wants to be alone. I tried so hard for so many years to break through the shell of hers. But eventually I just had to face the fact. It's never going to happen, no matter how hard I try. If she wants to open up, I'm here for her, but I'm done trying to take an active part in it. He put his hand on top of hers. Sometimes it's better to let it be. Being her friend, even if she keeps you at a distance, is all you can do, really. How about you, Banke? Thinking about letting Edda go yet? Tora turned his head to his fellow general after the brigadier general had left. I just got reunited with Edda after so long. We were separated at 16 years old. Jorun had her chance. Now it's my turn. He didn't get any further than that before he was interrupted by Tora. It's not going to happen. It was clear from day one. She isn't interested in anyone. That's not going to change all of a sudden. You are not going to be the one who makes his way into her heart. No one is. You can't reach someone that doesn't want to be reached. Banke looked down at the ground. She saved my life. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. Banke, you got both the personality and the looks. There's plenty of women here who would be happy to be with you, Tora said, trying to cheer up his fellow general. Banke looked up at him. Maybe, but still, I wish one of them was Edda. I'm gonna go grab some more logs for the fire, Tora said as he stood up. Don't be too long or Banke might fall asleep, Aino said to him. He smiled at her. It'll just take a few minutes. He walked away, and like a clockwork, Banke's head tipped forward. It didn't even take him 30 seconds to fall asleep. Do you think it's because he's always so calm? Maybe he's in a constant state of relaxation? Keon asked Aino. I don't know, but it sounds kind of nice, she answered. Did he actually fall asleep? Tora was back, and he looked at his fellow general in disbelief. He put down the logs he had collected on the ground and walked up to Banke. Tua put his hands on the Major General's shoulder and started to shake him violently. Banke's head flew up immediately, and he opened his eyes in confusion. Tua let go of him and shook his head in disapproval. Banke gave him a guilty smile and tried to make himself as small as possible, which was pretty much impossible for him to do due to his size. Banke felt a knock on his shoulder. He turned around and looked right at Edda. "Hello there, did you want to join me?" he asked with a big smile. "No, I and Ilsa have the next shift. You can go sleep," she said, as cold as ever. "Oh," Banke said, disappointed as he got up. Tua had already shifted places with Ilsa, so both of the Major Generals walked away into the darkness to find a good spot for the night. Edda sat down where Banke had sat. It was a cold night, so any extra warmth from the log was appreciated. Keon, on the other hand, had laid down and fallen asleep in the grass behind the log where Aino was sitting. "You know, Edda, you should give it a shot with Banke. The way he looks at you, it's obvious that he likes you," Ilsa commented. "I know he likes me. I'm not interested," the Major General replied coldly. "Why not? He's a good-looking guy," Ilsa asked her. "Then you go for him. As I said, I'm not interested in him, nor anyone else for that matter. I don't want a relationship," Edda answered. "Nah, I got plenty of fans already. I'm the warrior Ilsa after all." She pointed to herself with her thumb and gave a gleeful smile. "But I can understand the whole thing about relationships. One-night stands are so much better. No need to complicate everything with feelings," Ilsa continued. "I'm not interested in that either," Edda replied. "So you do nothing? With no one?" Ilsa raised her eyebrows. "Yes, and that's how I prefer to keep it." "Damn, you're missing out on a great thing in life, I tell you," Ilsa said as she looked at Edda. "Just yesterday, I and Lieutenant—" "I don't want to hear," Edda interrupted. Ilsa laughed at her. "Little uptight machine, Edda.